Hello friends, welcome to you all in another interesting episode of britfacts. Today we will see about discovery and exploration of the solar system. Fact number 48. Discovery and exploration of the solar system is observation, visitation and increase in knowledge and understanding of Earth's cosmic neighborhood. This includes the Sun, Earth and the Moon, the major planets Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus and Neptune, their satellites, as well as smaller bodies including comets, asteroids and dust. Fact number 47. Look at this picture, look at this image, observe it. The Sun and planets of the solar system, Pluto and other dwarf planets are not shown in this picture. The relative sizes of the objects are drawn to scale. The distance between them are not shown. Fact number 46. Look at this photograph again. A photo of Earth circled taken by Voyager 1, 6.4 billion kilometers means 4 billion miles away. The streaks of lights are diffraction spikes radiating from the Sun, of frame to the left. This photograph is known as a pale blue dot. Fact number 45. In ancient and medieval times, only the Sun, Moon, few classical planets and comets were visible to the naked eyes, along with phenomena known to take place in Earth's atmosphere like meteors and aurora. Ancient astronomers were able to make geometric observations with the various instruments. The collective of precise observation in the early modern period and the invention of the telescope helped determine the overall structure of the solar system and discover new planets and asteroids. Telescopic observation resulted in the discovery of more planets and asteroids and moons and determination of the distance to some other stars. The composition of stars and planets were investigated in spectroscopy. Observation of solar system bodies with other type of electromagnetic radiation become possible with radio astronomy, infrared astronomy, ultraviolet astronomy, X-ray astronomy and gamma ray astronomy. Fact number 44. Robotic space probes, the Apollo program landing of humans on the Moon and Space Telescope have vastly increased human knowledge about atmospheric, geologic and electromagnetic phenomena on other planets, giving rise to the new fields of planetary science. Fact number 43. The solar system is one of many planetary systems in the galaxy. The planetary system that contains Earth is named the solar system because the local star, the Sun, is named Sol, after the Latin word for sun, solis. Anything related to the Sun is called solar. For example, stellar wind from the Sun is called solar wind. Fact number 42. Look at this photograph. Carefully observe it. This is illustration of Anaximanders' model of the universe. On the left, summer, on the right, winter. Fact number 41. The first human had limited understanding of the celestial bodies that could be seen in the sky. The Sun, however, was the immediate interest as it generated in the day-night cycle. Even more, the dawn and sunset always take part at roughly the same point of horizon, which helped the develop of a cardinal direction. The Moon was another body of immediate interest. Because of the high visual size, the lunar phases allowed to measure time in longer periods than those of days to predict the duration of seasons. Fact number 40. Prehistoric beliefs about the structure of the universe were highly diverse, often rooted in religious cosmology, and many are unrecorded. Many associated the classical planets, those visible with naked eyes, with the deities. Systematic astronomical observations were performed in many areas around the world. and started to inform the cosmological knowledge. Early historic civilizations in Egypt, the Levant, pre-Socratic Greece, Mesopotamia, and ancient China recorded beliefs in a flat earth. Vedic texts proposed a number of shapes including a wheel, flat, and back concave. Ancient theories were typically geocentric, putting the earth at the center of the universe. Some traditions in Chinese cosmology propose the surface to which planets and the sun and moon were attached. Another proposed they were free-floating. Fact number 39. One important discovery made by different times in different places is that the bright planet sometimes seen near the sunrise, called Phosphorus by the Greeks, and the bright planet sometimes seen near the sunset, called Hesperus by the Greeks, were actually the same planet named Venus. Fact number 38. Look at this animated video. Animation depicting Eudoxus, model of retrograde planetary motion. The two innermost homocentric spheres of his model are represented as a ring here, each turning with the same period but the opposite direction, moving the planet along the figure 8 or hippopede. Fact number 37. Again, look at this photograph. The basic element of Ptolemaic astronomy showing a planet on an epicycle, smaller dashed circle, a different larger and dashed circle, the eccentric and equant. Fact number 36. Though unclear, it motivated the empirical observation. The concept of the spherical earth apparently first gained intellectual dominance in the Pythagorean school in ancient Greece in the 5th century BC. Meanwhile, the Pythagorean astronomical system proposed the earth and the sun counter-earth rotated around the unseen central fire, influenced by the Pythagorean thinking and Plato. Philosopher Eudoxus, Callippus, and Aristotle are developed model of the solar system based on concentric spheres. This required more than one sphere per planet in order to account for complicated curves that traced across the sky. Aristotelian physics used the Earth's place at the center of the universe, along with the theory of classical element in the explained phenomena such as falling rocks and rising flames. Objects in the sky were theorized to be composed of a unique element called ether, classical element. A later model development by Ptolemy attached smaller spheres to a smaller number of large spheres to explain the complex motion of the planets. A system known as a different and epicycle published in the Almagest. This model of celestial spheres surrounding a spherical earth was reasonably accurate and predictive, and became a dominant among educated people in various cultures, spreading from ancient Greek to ancient Rome, Christian Europe, the Islamic world, South Asia, and China via inheritance and copying of text, conquest, trade, and missionaries. It remained widespread use until the 16th century. Fact number 35. Various astronomers, especially those who had access to more precise observation, were skeptical of the geocentric Ptolemaic model of proposed alternatives, including heliocentric theory, which is known to be correct, where the planet and Earth orbit the Sun. Many proposals did not diffuse outside the local culture or did not become locally dominant. Aristarchus of Samos had speculated about heliocentrism in ancient Greece. Al-Andalus Arzachev proposed that Mercury orbited the Sun, and heliocentric astronomers worked in the Maraga school in Persia. Kerala-based astronomer Nilkanta Somayaji proposed the geoheliocentric systems in which the planets circle the sun while the sun and moon and star orbiting the earth. Polish astronomer Nicolaus Copernicus developed a system called Copernican heliocentrism, in which the planet and the earth orbit the sun and the moon orbit the earth. Though the by then late Copernicus theory was known to Dutch astronomer Tycho Brahe, he had accepted it and proposed his own geoheliocentric tachonic system. Brahe undertook a substantial series of more accurate observations. German natural philosopher Johannes Kepler at first worked to combine Copernicus' system with Platonic solids in line with his interpretation of Christianity and an ancient musical resonance theory known as Musica Universalis. After becoming an assistant to Brahe, Kepler inherited the observations and was directed to mathematically analyze the orbit of Mars. After many failed attempts, he eventually made the groundbreaking discovery that the planets moved around the sun in ellipses. He formulated and published what are now known as the Kepler's law of planetary motions from 1609 to 1615. This became the dominant model among astronomers, though, as with the celestial space model, the physical mechanism by which this motion occurred was somewhat mysterious and theories abounded. Fact number 34. It took some time for the new theories to diffuse across the world. For example, with the age of discovery already well underway, astronomical thoughts in America was based on the older Greek theories, but newer Western European ideas began to appear in the writing by 1659. Fact number 33. Look at this telescopic observation. Look at this telescope. This is a replica of Isaac Newton's telescope. Fact number 32. Early telescopic discoveries. The innovation of the telescope revolutionized astronomy, making it possible to see details about the sun, moon, and planets not available to the naked eye. It appeared around 1608 in the Netherlands and was taken up by Kepler and many other astronomers. Fact number 31. Italian astronomer Galileo Galilei was an early user and made prolific discoveries, including the phase of Venus, which definitely disproved the arrangement of the spheres in the Ptolemaic system. Galileo discovered that the moon was created, that the sun was marked with the sunspots, and that Jupiter had 4 satellites in orbit around it. Christian Huygens followed on from Galileo's discoveries by discovering Saturn, Moon, Titan, and the shape of the rings of Saturn. Giovanni Domenico Cassini later discovered 4 more moons of Saturn and the Cassini division in Saturno rings. Fact number 30. Look at this photograph of sun. The sun photographed through a telescope with special solar filter, sunspots, and limb darkening can be clearly seen. Mercury is transiting in the lower middle of the sun's face. Fact number 29. Around 1677, Edmund Halley observed a transit of Mercury across the sun, leading him to realize that observation of the solar parallax of a planet more ideally using the transit of Venus. would be used to trigonometrically determine the distances between the Earth, Venus, and the Sun. In the 1705, Halley realized that repeated sightings of a comet were recording the same object returning regularly once a year every 75 to 76 years. This was the first evidence that anything other than the planets orbited in the Sun, though this had been theorized about the comets in the 1st century by Seneca. Around 1704, the term solar system first appeared in English. Fact number 28. Newtonian Physics. English astronomer and mathematician Isaac Newton, incidentally building on recent scientific inquiries into the speed at which object falls, was inspired by claim by rival Robert Hooke of proof of Kepler laws. Newton was able to explain the motion of the planets by hypothesizing a force of gravity acting between all solar system objects in proportion to their mass and inverse square law. For instance, Newton's law of universal gravitation. Newton's 1687 Philosophus Natural Principia Mathematica explained this along with Newton's law of motion, for the first time providing a unified explanation for astronomical and terrestrial phenomena. Their concept because the basic of classical mechanics, which enable future advancement in many fields of physics. Fact number 27. Discovery of additional planets. The telescope made it possible for the first time to detect objects not visible to the naked eye. This took some time to accomplish due to various logistic considerations, such as the low magnification power of early equipment, the small area of the sky covered in any given observation, and the work involved in comparing multiple observations over different nights. Fact number 26. In 1781, William Herschel was looking for binary stars in the constellation of Taurus when he observed what he thought was a new comet. Its orbit revealed that it was a new planet, Uranus, the first ever discovered telescopically. Fact number 25. Giuseppe Pizzai discovered Sirius in 1801, a small world between Mars and Jupiter. It was considered another planet, but after subsequent discoveries of the small worlds in the same region, it and the other were eventually reclassified as asteroids. Fact number 24. By 1846, discrepancies in the orbit of Uranus led many to suspect a large planet, but must be tugging at it from farther out. Urbain Le Verrier's calculations eventually led to the discoveries of Neptune. The excess perihelion precession of Mercury orbit led Le Verrier to postulate the intra-Mercurian planet Vulcan in 1859, but that would turn out not to exist. The excess perihelion precession was finally explained by Einstein's general relativity, which displayed Newton's theory as the most accurate descriptions of gravity on large scales. Fact number 23. Look at this photograph. Look at this image carefully and observe it. This is a radar imaging of 2006 a small near-Earth asteroid had passed by Earth in early February 2014. Fact number 22. Further apparent discrepancies in the orbit of the outer planet led Pervical Lowell to conclude that yet another planet, Planet X, must lie beyond Neptune. After his death, his Lowell Observatory conducted a search that ultimately led to Clyde Tombaugh's discovery of Pluto in 1930. Pluto was, however, found to be too small to have disrupted the orbit of the outer planet, and its discovery was therefore coincidental. Like Ceres, it was initially considered to be the planet, but after the discovery of many other similarly sized objects, its vicinity, it was reclassified in 2006 as a dwarf planet by the IAU. Fact number 21. Discovery of the solar system as one among many. Although it is debatable when the solar system was truly discovered, 3. 19th century observation determined its natural and a place in universe beyond a reasonable doubt. First, in 1838, Friedrich Bessel successfully measured a stellar parallax and apparent shift in the position of the star created by the Earth's motion around the Sun. This was not only the first direct experimental proof of the heliocentrism, but also revealed for the first time the vast distance between the solar system and the stars. Then, in 1859, Robert Wilson and Gustav Kirchhoff, using the newly invented spectroscope, examined the spectral signature of the Sun and discovered that it was composed of the same element as existed on Earth, establishing for the first time a physical similarity between Earth and other bodies visible from Earth. Then Father Angelo Secchi compared the spectral signatures of the Sun with those of other stars and found them virtually identical. The realization that the Sun was the stars led to the hypothesis that other stars could have systems of their own, though this was not to be proven for nearly 140 years. Fact number 20. Observational cosmology began with attempts by William Herschel to describe the shape of galaxy. In 1785, he proposed the Milky Way was a disk, but assumed the Sun was the center. This heliocentric theory was overturned by galaktocentrism in the 1910 as after more observation by Harlow Shapley placed the galactic center relatively far away. Fact number 19. Extrasolar planets and the Kuiper belt. In 1992, the first evidence of the planetary system other than our own was discovered orbiting the pulsar PSR B1257 plus 12. 3 years later, 51 Pegasi b, the first extrasolar planet around the Sun-like stars, was discovered as of 2070 to 2687 extrasolar planetary systems have been found. Fact number 18. Also in 1992, astronomers David C. Jewett of the University of Hawaii and Jane Liu of the Massachusetts Institute of Technology discovered 15760 Albion. This object proved to be the first of a new population which became known as the Kuiper belt, and icy analog to the asteroid belt, of which such objects as the Pluto and Charon were deemed a part. Fact number 17. Mike Brown, Chad Trujillo, and David Rabinowitz announced the discovery of Eris in 2005, a scattered disk object initially though to be larger than Pluto, which would make it largest object discovered in orbit around the Sun since Neptune. New Horizons flyby the Pluto in July 2015 resulted in more accurate measurements of Pluto, which is slightly larger though less massive than Eris. Fact number 60. Look at this photograph. Look at this image carefully and observe it carefully again. Artist's conception of Pioneer 10, which passed the orbit of Pluto in 1983. The last transmission was received in January 2003, sent from approximately 82 AU away. The 49-50 years old space probe is receding from the Sun at lower 43,400 km/h, means 27,000 miles per hour, so long as it has not hit anything. Fact number 15. Since the start of the space age, a great deal of exploration has been performed by robotic spacecraft missions that have been organized and executed by various space agencies. Fact number 14. All planets in the solar system have now been visited to varying degrees by a spacecraft launched from Earth. Though these uncrewed missions, humans have been able to get close-up photographs of all planets, and in the case of landers, perform tests of the soils and atmospheres of some. Fact number 13. The first artificial object sent into the space was the Soviet satellite Sputnik 1, launched in 1957. Which successfully orbited Earth until 4th January the following year. The American probe Explorer 6, launched in 1959, was the first satellite to image Earth from space. Fact number 12. Flybys. The first successful probe to fly by another solar system body was Luna 1, which sped past the moon in 1959. Originally meant to impact with the moon, it instead missed its target and became the first artificial object to orbit the Sun. Mariner 2 was the first planetary flyby passing Venus in 1962. The first successful flyby of Mars was made by Mariner 4 in 1965. Mariner 10 first passed Mercury in 1974. Fact number 11. The first probe to explore the outer planet was Pioneer 10, which flew the Jupiter in 1973. Pioneer 11 was first to visit Saturn in 1979. The Voyager probes performed a grand tour of the outer planet following their launch in 1977, with both probes passing Jupiter in 1979 and Saturn in 1980 to 1981. Voyager 2 then went on to make close approaches to Uranus in 1986 and Neptune in 1989. The two Voyager probes are now far beyond Neptune's orbit and are on course to find and study the termination shock, heliosheath, and the heliopause. According to NASA, both Voyager probes have encountered the termination shock at a distance of approximately 93 AU from the Sun. Fact number 10. The first flyby of a comet occurred in 1995 when the International Cometary Explorer ICE passed by the comet Giacobini-Zinner, whereas the flybys of asteroids were conducted by the Galileo space probe which emitted about 951 gas per in 1991 and 243 AIDA in 1993 on its way to Jupiter. Fact number 9. Launched on January 19, 2006, the New Horizons probe is the first human-made spacecraft to explore the Kuiper belt. This uncrewed mission flew by Pluto in July 2050, but the mission was extended to observe a number of other Kuiper belt objects, including a close flyby 486958 Aeroquot on New Year Day 2019. Fact number 8. As of 2011, American scientists are concerned that exploration beyond the asteroid belt will hampered by a shortage of plutonium-238. Fact number 7. Orbiters, rovers, and landers, and flying probes. Look at these photographs. Look at this image carefully and observe it. Curiosity rover self-portrait at Rocknest, October 31, 2012, with the rim of Gale crater and the slope of Aeolus Mons in the distance. Fact number 6. In 1966, the Moon became the first solar system body beyond Earth to be orbited by an artificial satellite, Luna 10, followed by Mars in 1971, Mariner 9, Venus in 1975, Venera 9, Jupiter in 1995, Galileo. The asteroid 433 Eros in 2000 near Shoemaker, Saturn in 2004, Cassini, Huygens and Mercury, and Vesta in 2011. Messenger and Dawn respectively. Dawn is orbiting the asteroid Dwarf Planet Ceres as of 2015. Fact number 4. The first probe to land on another solar system body was the Soviet Luna 2nd probe, which impacted the Moon in 1959. Since then, increasingly distant planets have been in reach, with probes landing on or impacting the surface of Venus in 1966, Venera 3, Mars in 1971, Mars 3, although fully successful landing didn't occur until the Viking 1 in 1976, the asteroid 433 Eros in 2001 near Shoemaker, and Saturn's moon, Titans, Huygens, and the comet Tempel 1 deep impact in 2005. The Galileo orbiter was also dropped a probe into Jupiter's atmosphere in 1995 because the Jupiter has no physical surface. It was destroyed by increasing temperature and pressure as it descended. Fact number 3. To date, only two worlds in the solar system, the Moon and Mars, have been visited. The mobile rovers, the first robotic rover to visit another celestial bodies was the Soviet Lunokhod 1, which landed on the Moon in 1970. The first to visit another planet was a Sojourner, which traveled 500 meters across the surface of Mars in 1997. The first flying probe on the solar system is Vega balloons, while first powered flight was undertook by Ingenuity. The only crewed rover to visit another world was NASA's Lunar Roving Vehicle, which traveled with Apollo's 15th, 16th and 17th between 1971 and 1972. Fact number second. Here is another interesting spaceport exploration. Launch year 1965. Spacecraft named Venera 3, Venus. On Venus, there is a crash landing, and end year is 1966. Another one is in 1972 is launch year named Pioneer 10 on Jupiter by flyby, and end year in 2003. Another is a Pioneer 11, launch year is 1973 on Jupiter and Saturn by flyby, and end year is 1995. And Mariner 10 is launched in 1973 by flyby on Mercury on Venus, and end year in 1975. And Voyager 1 is launched in 1977 by flyby on Jupiter and Saturn, and end year in 1975. Again, Voyager 2 in 1977, launch on 1977 by flybys on Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and end year in 1975. Again, Galileo, launch in 1989 by flyby on Venus and orbiter on Jupiter. End year is 2003. Again, Ulysses, launched in 1919 by flyby on just Jupiter. End year is 2009. Cassini, launch year is 1997 by flyby on Venus, and again flyby on Jupiter and orbiter on Saturn, and end year is in 2017. And again, Mars Odyssey, launch year is 2001 on launch by orbiter on Mars, and end year in 2017. And again, MERAB, launch year 2003, launch on Mars by rovers. End year is 2010 and 2018. Mars Express, launch year is 2003, launched by orbiter on Mars, but end year is unknown here. The Messenger, launched in 2004 by orbiter on Mercury and flyby on Mars, flyby on Venus, and end year is 2015. And MRO, launched in 2005 by orbiter on Mars, and again Venus Express, launched in 2005 by orbiter on Venus, and end year in 2014. New Horizons, launched in 2006 by flyby on Jupiter and flyby on Pluto. And Dawn, launched in 2007 by orbiter on Ceres, and end year in 2018. Juno, launched in 2011 by orbiters on Jupiter. And Curiosity MSL, launched in 2011 by rover on Mars. Perseverance Mars 2020, launched in 2020 by rover. Ingenuity Mars 2020, launched in 2020 by flying probes on Mars. Fact number 1. Crude exploration. The crude exploration of the solar system ended in 1972. The first human being to reach space defined as the altitude of over 100 kilometers and to the orbit Earth was Yuri Gagarin, a Soviet cosmonaut who was launched in Vostok 1 on April 12, 1961, the first human to walk on the surface of another solar system body was Neil Armstrong, who stepped onto the moon on July 21, 1969 during the Apollo 11 mission. Few more moons landing occurred through 1970 to the United States. Reusable Space Shuttle flew 135 missions between 1981 to 2011. Two of the 5 shuttles were destroyed in accidents. The first orbital space stations to host more than one crew was NASA's Skylab, which successfully held 3 crews from 1973 to 1974 to human settlements in space, beginning with the Soviet space stations Mir, which was continuously occupied for close to 10 years from 1989 to 1999. Its successor, the International Space Station, has 10 years from 1989 to 1999. Its successor, the International Space Station, has mentioned the continuous human presence in the space since 2001. In 2004, United States President George W. Bush announced the Visitor Space Explorations, which called for the replacement for the aging shuttle, return to the moon, and ultimately a screwed mission to Mars. So friends, do subscribe this britfacts channel and hit the bell icon for more upcoming and interesting videos.